Hello, 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 everyone. How is everyone doing? Let's get right to it. What is it, Wednesday already? Wednesday, October 5th. Wow, time is flying. Good morning, Davey. Good morning, Jake. Hello, George. Good morning, Patrick. Afternoon, Waka Waka. Waka says short NASDAQ, short Tesla. Can't we just short it all, Waka? Good morning, Gary. Here's Waka's analysis. Market failed on 4-hour megaphone pattern. Wave 5 didn't bounce off wave 3 equals retest of the lows. The only thing I have is a double top so far on a shorter term basis. Good morning, Sashi. Hey, Christoph. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Grand Rising from Christoph. We have Christoph with the C, Christoph with the K. Are those pronounced the same, or am I messing it up? I know the spelling's different, which I can see, but we have me who's not good at pronouncing stuff. Good morning, MJ. Always my live stream being attended by Michael Jordan. Wow. Anissa, good morning. Good morning, Legion Reaver. Wow, everybody's in here. We all know Wednesdays are usually bloody. Well, what's the term then? You got to come up with a term for Wednesdays. Washout Wednesday? What is it? What's the term? Waka shorting Tesla. You're shorting. All right, we're getting people going in on Tesla. Already short, added to your short. Good morning, Josh. You pronounced them correctly. Okay. And number 23. Bloody Wednesday. Well, we need something that starts with W. WW. You need. Come on. Come on, let's get more creative. It's not just Bloody Wednesday. Well, speaking of that, if we look at the heat map, you do have some red coming in. You got some red in Tesla, red in your mega caps. Pretty mixed off the stuff coming out from OPEC this morning, but overall sort of red. Economic calendar. We had our mortgage stuff out today, which was pretty bad in mortgage applications, but nothing's trading off that right now. Employment change stronger than normal. Short-term wage growth still strong. Longer-term wage growth pulling back a bit. Next key thing, pay attention to 8:45, 15 minutes after the open. You have your services and composite PMIs. The big thing here is A, if they miss to the downside, how big the miss. B, if they bounce, if they get above 50 again. And then the bigger number is non-manufacturing PMI at 9 a.m. So 30 minutes after the open. Forecast 56, so that would be a contraction from previous, but that's still well in expansionary territory. So the only thing, will the market react? If that is a miss to the downside, will that then say the Feds, they got a... I'm just going to use the term pivot because it's what everybody uses, but that's pretty much the Fed has to reevaluate. Does that mean that you're only going to get that 50 basis point hike? Because those are the two choices, 50 or 75 still. So keep an eye also in the ISM if you're trying to decipher the number after you get the initial reaction. Keep an eye on employment to see if that stays in expansion. Again, expansion is above 50 or above. Contraction is below 50. And compare it to the prior prices to see how much moderation there is in prices. For all those energy and oil traders, 9:30, you got all your EIA numbers, and then we only one Fed speaky right at the close. So that's what's going on today. We already looked at the stock market map. Still that 65% of the 75 basis point under a month away. Not till November 2nd, though. Remember, Friday is also non-farm payrolls. Still in negative gamma with a massive put call stuff that's really big at 30. It's I mean, 3,700 is pretty big right now. You're having massive option volume still. There's the weeklies on this week are pretty big, bouncing back into just fear from extreme fear. There's nothing in terms of earnings this morning and after the close, nothing that I mean, there's a couple companies, but nothing that's going to be market moving. Let me catch up real quick with any more comments. Oh, boy. All right. Christoph's been short. I guess you're talking Tesla since 273.5, give you 230. I need help, not much in the... All right. Looking 37.30-ish to hold after this pullback for a potential long air entry. This pullback will be interesting to gauge rally strength. Yes, it will be. Work over Wednesday, Rec Wednesday. All right, we're working on it. Waka Waka Wednesday. Well, that would be very channel specific. If I go out and talk, hey, everyone, it's Waka Waka Wednesday. That means it's gonna be Wreck. It could be Wreck It Wednesday with the W, Wreck It. All Euro country miss PMI to the downside. There you go. The info from Christoph. Thank you for putting that in. Remember, if you have other information you think everybody should know, do not be afraid to put it in. Contribute to the channel. That's what we're all here for. PMG, good morning. Waka, yeah, we're gonna have to go with Waka Waka Wednesday. Waka Waka Wreck It Wednesday. 1 hour double bottom. Well, we'll go through this again. Good morning, Lauren. How about Woke Wednesday? Can we just have everything tank on Woke Wednesday? Sorry, Bears, we're gonna have at least 2 to 3 green bars on MACD histogram by the dip. Well, this is why. All right, see, as long as you have your setups, your proper trade expectations, people can have different opinions on different time frames. That's what's so wonderful about trading, and that's what I stress. Like here, this is a double top that was confirmed back during the European session about 3 a.m. Central and triggered 4 a.m. Central. Now pulling back. Also, it's an interesting, because I've done tons of research on this, and I have not found a way to differentiate. If this thing's going to fail, it's generally going to fail on a flag pattern, and I have not found a way to judge whether it was going to be a double top in this pattern or a flag pattern in all my research. So I still have to just stick with the probabilities. Otherwise, I would give you rules. Now, I really pay attention to the stop area on this when we get a flagging pattern in a strong bull bounce. But this is a valid double top. So in the double top, same probabilities hold up. Where would this be? It's now finally, it's slightly lower probability because it is against that 4-hour rotation zone, but look where that takes us, back to the bottom of the 4-hour rotation zone and back to the prior breakout level on the short breakout. So it is completely valid into a clear path move. As I put in the sort of description, is this the top pattern? No, it's a top pattern because we have a set of targets. What has to get me besides this pullback, which could be a pullback and then a resumptive move up, which could always make a bigger topping pattern? Do we know yet? No. Right now we have a topping pattern. If this just keeps going and breaks key support, my next major area, my next major area would be between the 50 and the 62.5 of a retracement for this run up. And a close below the 62.5, at least on a 4-hour basis right now, below 36.65 would then, from my probabilities and my analysis, would be the retest of the low area. Could we get additional signals before then? Yes. So right now, short-term top. The targets, let me just go through them. By the way, there is no double bottom right here. There was potentially one earlier if you ignore this red bar, but that's now invalidated. The only bullish case then I will watch for a break above the channel line, and short term would be a break above about 37.80. But that's still the stop level, the official stop level until the official stop level based off this side, and I'm using this is where it gets a little tricky. It did give pullback right here to get proper reward to risk. The first target is 37.49.50. By the way, when I have a target right at a key major number like 37.50 or 3,800 or 3,700, when I see a target just on the other side, I normally make my target, for me, is 37.50.25. I edge it up a little because of all the orders that rest at round numbers or try to front run round numbers. The 37.40, roughly 37.39.50, then 37.30.50 is your key back to the breakout. And interesting enough, based off the clear path move, remember we had that clear path on the 4 hour, a little minor stopping point right at that first target. And then you pretty much have another 1 hour clear path even beyond this 37.29. 37.29 key on the 4 hour and daily, 37.12 key on more the 1 hour. So those are the pullback levels I am utilizing this morning. Again, the stop level's still technically 37.93. If you're ratcheting it down on a more aggressive basis, then you're just going to ratchet it down from these lows. The early warning stop, if you want to try to jump out of something early, if based off my research, would be about above this 37.80, and I would be ratcheting it down, but looking for a push lower into the open. What's the bigger macro? We're still with the 4 hour rotation zone. That's why I'm really focused on that final target. 4 hour cycles entering the bottom, but not there yet. Daily cycles back at the top, and we are. This is why you still have to do your multi-time frame analysis. We've returned to the daily rotation zone, the other side of it, and now watching to see how this pullback holds. And here's your daily key area. I said the 37.20 or 37.30, 37.29.75 area is the key breakout point on the daily. So this first pullback will be telling, and then we'll have to see if we get signs for a continuing pullback beyond the first targets. So, oh boy, no. Let's not start the arguments with everything. We're all here to learn. We don't have Tom in here. Andrea votes for Waka Waka Wednesday. Now you have we have channel members coming up with trading. We have trading days based off. So here's the thing. You know what? We have different time frames. I've listed my time frames. People can have different opinions. That's fine and wonderful. Let's not attack people unless it's. I don't want to attack people anyways, unless they're just making inane. I don't want to attack people, but you can call out inane comments. Like if Waka Waka says we're going to zero, that would be an inane comment, and I call Waka on it. But George can be bullish. You could have a pullback in that 4 hour rotation zone and another rotation back up. People can be trading different time frames, different strategies, and I've seen multiple trades work out on different time frames. Like I've had a bullish double on a shorter term basis within the context of a bearish double on a long term, and they both worked out. Again, it all depends, and we don't know each other's trade cycle. What I want to stress is as long as you're not just shooting from the hip, you're not just winging it, you have a proper methodology. I'm listing my stuff. Nobody has to agree with it or not. I do not care. you have to stick with a methodology and your trade probabilities and trade expectancies. And then every trade, Waka Waka might be right, George might be right. It doesn't matter because it's not about right or wrong, it's about managing positions. And then it's about the probabilities. So, and I agree, Rich, non-farm payroll is going to be very critical. Friday, remember, do not ignore this. Thanks, Chris. So again, people can have different opinions. I trade patterns. You don't trade what I think either. You know, you're welcome to trade patterns. I look at as long as you've done your due diligence. However, if I think, well, just like Bob said, he's bullish at the end of the year, I'm not. I have a difference of opinion with Bob, but you don't just say I'm going to be bullish at the end of the year because Bob said it yesterday on the live stream. You don't just go, okay, I'm just going to buy and go on vacation the rest of the year because Bob said he's bullish. Because he could change in 2 weeks. He could have more information in 2 weeks. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to jump to the spiders real quick. I think enough people know things. So spiders, the first thing would be for the gap fill. Technically, the spiders closed above the 62.5. Remember, I do like in terms of probabilities, and I've done repeated testing on this. It's why I stress watching the futures even if you don't trade them. Watch the futures because they have higher probabilities than the spiders or the Qs. Why you get a lot more information on them. Now, this is going to trigger this double, which is valid on the spiders with the gap open, unless we have a massive rally in 9 minutes, which I severely doubt. 372.34, 371.46, 370.57. I want to see where this puts us in terms of the gap harmonics. Your next thing is if it tackles all the things to the downside, watch on at least a 15-minute closing basis. Excuse me, below 370.89, a closing basis. Then we could be tipping back for the gap fill. Other than that, if we bounce off any of the key targets, I'm really paying attention to yesterday's key gap open price with the rising 50 and the first target on the double. That's going to be key. You can then start your gap if it starts bouncing. Besides watching for the first play on a gap play would be to the low that was established as 374.11, and then I'd be using the gap harmonics. Those are all the key levels to the up and down side. Now, if you turn around and you want the little longer term breakout play, this is where you're going to use, yes, it's technically going to be a pausing bar on yesterday's close. You'd want to use your harmonics for the next push up there once you get the gap fill. I don't need to do the analysis. Yes, there is the double also on the NASDAQ within the daily rotation zone. Same pretty much analysis. 11,449, 11,444, 11,373. This is already below this key breakout zone. So you have to go back to the next deeper breakout zone, which is essentially right around the first target. Remember, the NASDAQ stalling out, no close above the 62.5, so stalled out between the rotation zones, so we don't have agreements in the markets. And then if you're looking for your continued key pullback levels, for the NASDAQ, it's 11,283, 11,184.75, the close below 11,184.75, retest of the lows more probable. Notes, I'm just going to jump over some of the more minor ones that a lot more people do not trade. Notes, this was not a double. It is way too ill-formed. Yes, it's a clear path move. 112.08 is key support. The closing level is 111.27. Right now, we're trading against the breakout level. So is what's going to be key is that 62.5. You see stalling out in the daily rotation zone. So this pullback is really key to help us assess the strength or weakness in bonds. Dollar index. Remember I said watching for that return to the weekly rotation zone, return to the weekly rotation zone. And now trying to rotate back up. It would be an aggressive buy on a close above yesterday's high on the daily. And we already have a potential bottoming move off the 4-hour, but it's already time to start raising up the stops. If we do break down below this 109.90, start to watch. It could get very interesting for a resumption bull case in the markets. Crude with the OPEC. Again, this is a continuing corrective. Cycles are at the top. Remember, I am watching for the return into the weekly rotation zone. We've hit the bottom. Key now resistance areas are about 90, 50, and then up to about 93. Watching for topping patterns. Do I have a major topping pattern? Not yet. If we do break below about 85.80, we'll watch for the pullback into the 4-hour rotation zone. Other than that, I am watching for a topping pattern, but nothing yet. A key stop for trailing out on this move up would be a rotation back below today's prior established low from a very aggressive point of view. All right, people, I'm glad you're talking. So I'm just trying to teach everybody at least a mindset. Thank you for that nice comment, Christoph. I am trying to teach people a mindset that you can apply also to your own analysis. We may get some kind of, I'm not discounting, we may get some kind of Lehman event at some point. I think we probably will. And that's not to say it has to happen this month. I think there is instability, but everybody was completely ridiculous over the weekend about Credit Suisse was going to collapse on Monday. That was absurd. Could Credit Suisse have major book problems? Yes, I think they will. Let's look at Tesla. Tesla, remember, I'm still favoring the lower prices. The only thing this will probably turn into, unless it gets a very quick snapback, is probably going to turn into a triple bottom. We got the key close for the harmonics 256.35, which targets the gap fill. That's why I'm going to watch this first target on this potential double. I just got to double check something, and it's not what formed on the so that potential double is going to be off the table with this gap pretty much. Now, gap and then rollover, that's a triple bottom that slightly favors a continuation pattern. We already closed below the 62.5. Even if we were to do a gap fill, I am still targeting 220, somewhere between 220 and 206 in the short term. 232 to about 234 is on short plays as an area to at least lower stops, and then 220 to 222 is another area to lower stops and or take partial profits from my perspective. Gary's long the US dollar, so I can't get to every comment today. I want to try to wrap this up. There's the Tesla analysis. Thanks so much. Sorry I'm late with the... you don't never have to apologize to me. I'm glad you're reviewing and comparing it. Let's see. Elon will buy Twitter. Is funding or selling? We'll see if he's still going to buy Twitter. He's trying to position it for still some outs. As I said yesterday, if for trades on Twitter, I would not be trying to eke out an extra $2 on it. It would be exiting long trades and letting this see how this plays out. Market is open. Market is open. I can't stay into the open this morning. Your minor key resistance is now 37.66, area. We'll be back this afternoon unless something major happens during lunch. I really appreciate everybody tuning in and carrying on good conversations. You are always welcome to put on your thoughts, as long as they're smart and reasonable and not attacking people as part of the live stream. And you know what? I appreciate everybody has their own tradings, methodologies, and just manage reward to risk correctly. You are welcome, Andrea. You are welcome, Christoph. Well, if it goes private, then it's not going to matter until he re-IPOs it. Good luck to everyone. You are welcome, Anissa. Everyone trade well, trade smart, and I'll see you all later. Thank you again. Bye for now. Thank you, Warren. Thank you again. I haven't seen you here a lot, so thank you for tuning in.